it pisses me off that men are not hunters anymore. And what I mean by that is, like, I literally just met someone that I thought was kind of cute, and I think that he knows that. I mean, he definitely knows that. I said that very loud. I literally went, he's cute. And I just know that he's not gonna hit me up. Like, he's not gonna make an effort to, like, find my number or get it from someone on set. Like, no. So, honestly, it's probably for the better, but it just makes me mad.
If you think Tylenol is bad for children, wait till you hear about rifles.
Okay, I have a genuine question, and I'm sure instead of answering it, someone is just going to block this account like they did the other one. But for all of us that I'm sure are wondering, could someone please define precisely what an rifle is?
Stop telling men how to be men.
What women want from men is unrealistic, and what men want from women is unrealistic. A woman is too busy trying to tell men how to be men, and that's why we can't learn how to be men, because we arguing with women about they need to be women. I tell my woman, don't worry about what a man is doing when he leave the house. If that kitchen is dirty, ain't no clothes for, why you worried about what I do as a man? You try to be a better woman.
Did he not have a valid point? Let me know in the comments. What do y'all think?
No. Ooh. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Ladies, look, it actually does make sense because that man is already thinking that he wants another piece of toast, so he's not going to put that dirty knife in the dishwasher and then have to dirty another knife. That would be a waste.
What happened to yearning? What happened to men that pursue? What happened to men being confident enough to make the first move? I feel like our generation is just so whacked out. Like, we're just all messed up, and I think with the phones, we're just so antisocial and just everything is just out of sorts, and it's not how it used to be. And I think it's a real shame that, like, the art of dating and, like, yearning and pursuing is just, like, I watch shows like Bridgerton, I'm like, oh my God, we will never have that again. It's just gonna get worse. And it's actually so sad. Especially dating apps have just ruined it all.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Also, I wanted to point out that man is also playing a video game and he might be super engulfed in that. He may see your gesture as a slight interruption. Maybe it's best if you do it after his round or when he has a second, especially if it's an online game where he can't pause it. I know some people don't play games and they don't quite understand, but there are games where you have to keep going. Sometimes you're on a team with other people. You don't want to let that team down. Maybe in that moment he's kind of stressed because he's trying to focus on the game itself. He also doesn't want to ignore or not acknowledge you either. So do keep that in mind. That might also be a part of it.
Okay, see, as you can see here, there's a gentleman putting gas in my car. I didn't ask him to do that, but he is doing it, okay? Because this is what men supposed to do, okay? He put new wipers on my vehicle. This is all I asked for. This is all I ever wanted. Oh, I think he's gonna fix this stuff up wrong with my car. Oh, it's gonna clean it too. Oh, a useful man? Oh, this is how you get points. This is how you get points. And he's winning right now.
There was a time when I was always available, always helping, always showing up for people. And slowly, they started taking it for granted. I remember feeling confused. Like, how did being kind turn into being overlooked? And one day, someone said something to me I've never forgotten. She said, people don't value what's always available. They value what has boundaries. That hit me. I realized I wasn't being taken for granted by accident. I was teaching people that my time and energy had no limits. So I changed that. I stopped overgiving. I stopped explaining myself, and I let people feel my absence instead of my exhaustion. The right ones adjusted, the wrong ones disappeared. And honestly, that told me everything I needed to know.
I love being a woman, and I love other women, and I love womanhood and motherhood and sisterhood, and one of the greatest joys of my life is communing with other women. That's why I find it so infuriating how women have been lied to over the last couple of decades, especially. How everything that makes up a woman, what it means to be a woman has been twisted and degraded on both sides. But our compassion and our empathy and our nurturing and service to others, especially, how all of that now is seen as oppressive, and how you should put yourself first in life. And that doesn't just go for women, that goes for men too. Nobody should be putting themselves first in life and doing whatever it takes to climb to the top. Because I tell you, that's going to be pretty meaningless at the end of your life.
A lot of these modern women upset that men don't show up nowhere. They don't be nowhere. They don't come into women's spaces. They don't come to singles events. Man, are you afraid of women? Are you scared of women? No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't have time for foolishness. I'm scared of wasting time. I'm scared of hearing stupidity today, especially when I had a good workout this morning. Especially since I've been the meal prep for the last week. I'm on a roll. I'm on a positive high, and I don't want no stupidity trying to bring me down.
I just watched this whole video about this blue collar guy who works like 8-some-hour shifts, and then after he does Uber Eats to provide for him, his wife, his 4 kids, and the kid on the way. I could never be a man. And you're crying because he was so sweet. I could never be a man. It's too much pressure. You're expected to know it.
Absolutely. As a woman, thank you for admitting this. Because this sort of truth is exactly what men need to hear. They need to know that they're appreciated. They need to know that they're not easily replaced. They need to know that the woman that they're doing it all for cannot just easily do it instead. And that's okay. It's actually a good thing to let go of your ego, ladies. Admit the strength in men because that actually makes them stronger.
All a man really wants to do, ladies, I'm sure you don't believe this, he wants to make you happy. But if he gets to the point where he believes nothing will, then he gets angry. And then he looks for some other place to feel like he's enough, because that's his upbringing. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that's what it is. And by the way, women, as they get older, if they feel like they're not cherished and loved, and sometimes they aren't, or someone else becomes more important to that person, then they get angry and intense. Yeah. And so now we have people that love each other, generalizing, distorting, deleting about the other side. Then it's hard to even have a new relationship because you're still, when you come to a new relationship, you put across this person the filter of what's happened in the past. And if they do something similar to that person, oh, you better not do that, and we get angry and upset, it isn't even them. How many get this? Say I.
I. Name one thing that women created. 8 billion people.
Okay, so women certainly helped create 8 billion people. And I don't think anyone's going to argue that women, in fact, do the majority of the heavy lifting when it comes to bringing life into this world. But here's my question. Of those 8 billion people, half of them are men. And there's a lot of women out there that say all men are the same, that it's all men until it's no men. So in regards to creating those 4 billion men, what part did women play in those men turning out the way that they did? At least the ones that so many women are complaining about. Are some of these women going to take responsibility, at least partially, in how they turned out? Or is that something that is going to be passed off to the responsibility of men?
There's a moment in a man's relationship where he realizes that he's competing for attention with everything else. He's competing when she's talking on the phone. He's competing with her friends. He is competing with anything else outside of him. So this is when a man is going to do what he going to do. He is going to try harder. He initiate conversations. He plans dates. He will adjust himself. He would even ask her what's wrong. But over time, he figures out it ain't him. He realizes that effort is one-sided. Everything with her, when it comes to him, feels forced, and he knows that his presence is definitely optional. And that's when the fight stops. He no longer wants the attention from her because he knows that he is him and he doesn't need to do all of that. Now, he doesn't stop loving her, but he knows that his love should not feel like a competition with the woman that he's with. Men just don't chase attention with the woman that they're building with, period. And when a man figures out that he is unwanted in his own home, he does not argue, he does not beg, he does not threaten, he just goes quiet. That is the first step of detachment, and it is peace for him. And we all know once a man detaches, the relationship is over.
I mean, this is not really rocket science. This is what men tell you all the time. That's why y'all say we have our friends, we have this, we have that. We know these are not really your friends. You guys are friends out of convenience. You said it perfectly. Well, I hate men. Do you hate men? Yes, we're friends. Hey, I'm going to the singles event. There's no men. I don't want to be sitting around here looking stupid, looking lonely. Let's be friends. You're not really friends. You just wanted somebody to go through the pain with. And when the pain is over, you move on. It's friendship out of convenience. You're trauma bonding. That's what it is. That's all it is.
Why men hesitate to approach women? Because the cost of getting it wrong is so much higher than the reward of actually getting it right. Because rejection is usually public now. You don't know if she's filming you. She posts it on social media, goes viral, and everyone looks at you as a creep or some other terminology. All because you thought she was pretty and wanted to buy her a dinner or something. She'll also say no. Because the rules are inconsistent. What works for one man doesn't work for another. What works with one woman does not work for another. So every interaction for him is eggshells. And not only that, but he's supposed to approach it confidently. How do you be confident with something where the rules are constantly changing? Because men are told to be bold, but also don't bother her, don't harass her, don't make her feel uncomfortable. Well, what does that even mean? Because men genuinely don't want to ruin your day or interrupt your reading or interrupt your scrolling. So they're not going to risk approaching you.
If a guy is amazing, like great, everything, they have check boxes, good looking, they're emotionally intelligent, they're emotionally available, they're nice to you, they're really good to you, all the things, it can still not feel right.
Computer.
Yes, Batman.
I need for you to call that Negro Black Spider guy advice. Wait, actually, call Superman real quick.
Calling Superman.
Hello, this is Superman. I'm not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the beep. Also, if this is Batman, go touch some grass. You're always in that cave watching videos.
Superman was unavailable.
I already know that. Call Black Spider guy advice.
Black Spider guy advice.
Hey, Black Spider guy. I have a question about a video I saw from your universe. It would seem women in your world are unsatisfied no matter how good a man may be.
Yo, before we talk about that, did you call Super for me?
No way, I would never. I know you're the expert on this.
So all the men coming out saying, we built the world, look, we built skyscrapers and roads and bridges. The question needs to be asked, who the asked you to? Who the asked you to? Typical trait of men, because most married women will know. You have a Christmas party or a function that you're hosting at your house, and what needs to be done is the house needs to be cleaned and the food needs to be cooked. But lo and behold, your husband will go and paint a room or clean the roof. When it came to building the world, who asked you to build skyscrapers? Who asked you to build satellites?
I really cannot believe what I'm hearing.
What the world really needed is to feed the hungry and the children and make the world safe. In fact, we wouldn't need skyscrapers and this level of farming if patriarchy didn't force women to push out babies to over 8 billion people today. Because women sure as hell didn't ask for this.
Ah, yes. Blame the patriarchy. Classic. Absolutely just classic. But frankly, it's starting to sound a bit old. A bit like a broken record, in fact. So instead of trying to blame men for everything in the world that one doesn't happen to like, why not just have some personal fortitude and admit that one just doesn't like men? That would be so much easier. But I do understand that doing so would involve actually having to take some accountability.
If you're wondering how we moved on so easily, then I want you to listen to this. I get it. It hurts so badly to know that someone has moved on when you are still so stuck grieving the love that you shared with them. Your mind is so consumed by them and theirs is occupied by somebody else. And it hurts to know that you're only a memory to someone who's still your everything. But I want you to understand something. It hurts because you're thinking that moving on for him means the same as it does for you. And it doesn't. He can jump from person to person so easily because he's not practicing love. He's practicing possession. When we go through breakups, we're heartbroken. We have to grieve the loss of that person's place in our life, and so it's only natural that we would expect the same process for someone else. We have to take time to heal from something so traumatic. And so when we see someone move on in days or even weeks, we assume that it was that much easier for them. And we take that as a reflection of how little they loved us and how easy it was to let us go. But that would also have to mean that he loved the way that you loved, and we know that's not true because they're not capable of it. These people cannot be alone with themselves. And so they immediately move towards hooking the next victim because they need that validation. They need to feed their ego with new attention instead of acknowledging the loss of it from you. I know it hurts, but take the time to heal yourself from the love that you gave and let him distract himself from the love that he couldn't.
You know, a lot of modern women think that men are thinking about them all day long. They think that men are solely focused on them. They think that men have nothing better to do than to daydream about them. That's why they say things like, where are the men who yearn? Why isn't he texting me all hours of the day and night? I know I didn't respond to him for 2 or 3 hours, and he let it go the first time. And I didn't respond to him multiple times, and he just quit talking to me. But I want a man who yearns. I want a man who begs. I want a man who pushes through all of that, because that's going to be the one for me. Well, you're going to be single and lonely, because this type of game plan that you're doing, it's not going to work anymore.
Common complaints a lot of women have about men. He doesn't open up. Well, is he safe to open up? What happened last time he did? Did you use it against him in an argument later? Did you invalidate his feelings? Did you change the subject to make it about you? He doesn't reassure me enough. Well, how much do you ask for it? Is he supposed to reassure you every 5 seconds? Or do you just need reassurance once in a while? Because you can ask for that, that's no problem. But at what point is your need for reassurance emotional dependency? And do you appreciate him giving you reassurance, or do you take that for granted like everything else that he does? He doesn't fight for the relationship. Are your guys' arguments repetitive and unproductive? Do things actually get solved? And you're in a relationship with him, he shouldn't have to fight for you. He should feel safe and comfortable in the relationship where he's not walking on eggshells. Is that the relationship you have? He won't talk about the future with me. Can he talk freely, or do you get really upset and mad if he says he wants something that maybe you don't? Are you actually hearing him out, or are you pressuring him to speak about the future multiple times when he's already told you what he's okay with and what he's not okay with? Are those conversations actually productive?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, like that's it? Yeah, that's all you have to say?
I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
A big deal? Like...
I couldn't find the right time to tell you.
We've been talking for 6 months and you couldn't tell me you had a kid at some point?
You almost feel sorry for this woman, but then...
I'm sorry.
Don't me like that. Like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. More to the point though, why even bother with a single mom? Seriously. It's not a topic I've touched on much, but it's a parallel subject to the Reformed church girl. Can a promiscuous woman be saved? Of course she can. Are you as a Christian man obligated by your faith to wife up such a woman? Of course not. Why would you? Even if that's the only woman on the planet you can actually get, the fix for that isn't accepting whatever woman will have you. The fix for that is to work on yourself so that you have more options, which of course goes way beyond women. And it goes well beyond just making money or building a great physique or any of the usual external trappings of building oneself. A man building himself to the point he possesses genuine masculine composure, a topic I'll be doing more on next week. But the process of building one's self opens a man's eyes to the extent a woman will never, ever be your primary focus in life. And that man of composure will not be accepting a woman into his life just to have a woman in his life. She has to qualify for that role. And so again, why would a man with options choose a single mom.
So I used to think a woman's past didn't matter until this one time that I got invited over to my cousin's house. We were all sitting around their bonfire after dinner. They had invited some friends and another cousin of ours. And in the midst of the conversations, the attention got put on me. And they asked me if I've been seeing anybody lately because, you know, recently I became single again. And I was like, yeah, like I've been seeing this one girl. She came over, you know, we've been spending the night and all this stuff. And my cousin was like, oh yeah, Vinny got his little hoes. But what he needs is a good girl that's not going to give it up on the first night. So that's when my other cousin chimes in, the one that was recently married. And she's like, oh yeah, I made Steven wait at least 2 months before he was able to get any. And my boy was sitting there like all proud and shit, like that shit sucked, but it was worth it. That's when I was like, you see, like I want that too. But then I'm scared that like if a girl makes me wait that long and then I find out this one night stand in her past. And then that's when they look at me and they're like, but why does that even matter? And that's when I was like, well, if the whole point of making a man wait is for self-respect and for preservation, then that goes out the window if you gave it to somebody else on the first night. So there's really no point. Because they're just gonna feel like you put on a good girl mask just because you seen a future with me, but not with the person you let hit on the first night, you know? And the whole time that I was giving my explanation, all I'm seeing is like my little cousin, the 16-year-old, she's in the back like, and as soon as I finish talking, she looks over at her sister and she's like, My cousin's like, what? And she's like, what about the guy in Mexico? When I tell you guys, her face was pale, like she didn't even know what to say. And then her husband's like, what guy in Mexico? So at that moment, I'm pretty sure we all realized that he didn't know about the guy in Mexico. And at that point, he had got up, walked into the house, and my cousin followed after him. And honestly, we didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal. But a month later, they actually announced that they were separating. But I think we all learned a valuable lesson that day. For me, it was just because she make you wait does not make her worth my time.
And you know, a lot of these modern women will listen to people like Shira Seven, or they'll go get a matchmaker or a dating coach. A lot of these modern women will do it, but you don't really need a dating coach. You don't really even need a therapist. You need to buckle down and fix your problems and your issues. A dating coach or a therapist or a matchmaker, they're not going to be able to fix 15, 20 years of your bad decisions. A lot of these modern women walk into that office with their demands, and the dating coach is like stunned, shocked, like, I mean, I want you as a client, but you're not going to be able to get, I'm not going to be able to find nobody for you. I'll take your money. Actually, dating coaches and matchmakers have started saying, I'm not going to even take your money. I can't find nobody for you. We don't have anybody in our database, and I'm not about to try to look for them.
So I'm way early for an appointment. I figured I'd make a TikTok that really nobody cares about, but it's more for me.
Okay.
So as someone who's been in a relationship for about the past 25 years, married for almost the past 24, and newly is separated or been separated for a year, filed for divorce, and has been dating or dating a person for a decent amount of time. And then to have said person that seemed like a great guy that you really connected with, that like you just enjoyed each other's company and it was easy, to kind of just out of nowhere decide that he wanted to end it, that right now he didn't want a relationship, and he has some stuff going on personally that I get he can't dedicate the time that he needs, and I was causing extra stress when I said I wouldn't. But it's like being in high school and breaking up with that boyfriend that you really liked. It's rough.
Yep. It's gonna continue to be
And I've
that
heard
way
people
too.
say like the first breakup after like marriage is the hardest one, or can be the hardest one. And maybe shouldn't have been in a relationship so close to ending my marriage. So it's more like a trauma bond, and we were kind of codependent on each other, but it doesn't make the pain feel any less. It's still pretty fresh because it just happened on Monday and I wasn't expecting it. And I went from having someone I talk to most of the day, all day, if I'm not spending time with them, for the last months, many months. And then before that we were friends, to no contact at all. Yep. And it's hard.
Friends.
And it makes me not ever want to date again, honestly. Because if I'm this heartbroken after one, I don't think I can handle another one. And everyone tells me that dating sucks, like in general. That there's a lot of weirdos, that like people will tell you whatever. And it's hard to meet people now because nobody goes anywhere. Or if you do, like, how do you know you're not totally just meeting some weird person that is just telling you what you want to hear? I don't know. I guess it's time to just focus on myself for a little bit. what else can you do?
The thing is, in this situation, we don't have the context, so we don't know what actually ended the marriage. But a lot of the times, it's just the grass is greener mentality. It's like, oh, this whole thing that I've been building for 25 years, yeah, it's actually garbage, and I want to get rid of it and go find something new. So then you get rid of that, get out into the new dating market, and realize, like, oh, it's basically only leftovers out here, and now I'm a leftover. But a lot of guys around that age range aren't really looking for a serious relationship, as far as I can tell. They probably already had a family, did the whole marriage thing, went through the divorce machine. They're like, I'm just gonna do all this super casual now, and that's what her future looks like, just going around this carousel, jumping from guy to guy into infinity. It's a big yikes, dude.
A lot of these modern women had a lot of dudes at one point in time, giving them all the attention and the validation that they wanted. It was everywhere. Couldn't escape it. All just an abundance of attention. Oh man, I got this man doing this for me. I got him doing that. Man, I got a man over here to do this. I got a man over here to do that. I'm trying to tell you, at some point in time, that ain't gonna work like you think it is. That's not sustainable. But no women wanted to hear it. Modern women did not want to hear it until you got to. Until the men stopped calling and you ain't got nothing but time. You ain't got nothing but silence to hear. Shoot, I was out here playing too many games. Dang. And now that shift, that phase that you were in, then dried up really quickly. And now you're out here scrambling, talking about, find me a matchmaker, find me anybody, just anyone, a coach, anybody to get me my man. You didn't even, a lot of these modern women, the crazy thing is, a lot of these modern women don't even need a coach. They don't even need a coach. You just need to act right. You don't need anybody telling you how to get a man. You already have men coming up to you. You just need to act right.
Not to mention that we don't have a loneliness epidemic. We have a loser epidemic.
What we actually have is an epidemic of single motherhood where it's praised and single fatherhood is demonized because what did he do wrong? We have an epidemic of women who would rather put their butt cheeks on the internet on OnlyFans rather than to be in the kitchen and learn how to cook and clean. We also have an epidemic of women who pretend to care about men's mental health. Well, they have their link in bio for their spicy pages. We also have an epidemic of bitter baby moms who would rather drag the father of their children through court, have him pay hundreds and thousands of dollars, and only get 30% of time with his children while simultaneously calling him a loser for working too much, even though the court systems value the mother's home over the father's home. So they're proud to destabilize the father of their children and call him a loser rather than to maintain a healthy co-parenting relationship for their children. But yet it's only the men that are losers. We have an epidemic of women who would rather have men pay their entire way, pay their bills, pay for meals, pay for their hair, pay for their nails, constantly have their hand out because they're entitled. But then she'll actually dump him for the next guy that has no job, no career, nothing going for him because, he was emotionally there for her. We have an epidemic where it's cool for women to claim that all men are narcissistic and we have an epidemic of women assuming that these men are going to come in and be Prince Charming because they've watched too many Disney movies. We have an epidemic of women expecting men to be equal to them, but it's only equal to what benefits them. Because we all know that the majority of women only care about equality where it suits them and will fit their lifestyle the best. We have an epidemic of where women want men to court them and be interested in them only to accuse them later on of love bombing them and being narcissists. We have an epidemic of women who gaslight men into thinking that they're happy, and they try to convince them that they shouldn't go 50-50 because the reality is that the majority of women can't even afford his 50% in the first place. But y'all aren't ready for that kind of conversation. We have an epidemic of lack of accountability because when she cheats, it's still his fault because he wasn't emotionally there. But when he cheats, it's still his fault. So no matter what, the men are getting blamed for it regardless. We live in a world where women will project their insecurities about being broke this and being broke that when really it's them who are broke themselves. So even courtship is out the window. We have an epidemic of women who will claim SA or grape or claim that he's if he even looks her direction. We
We have an epidemic where if a man says anything wrong on a date, he's going to end up on Are We Dating the Same Guy, where these women can slander men without any consequences to their actions. Oh, and let's not forget, even if you are a good guy and you show up and you're emotionally in tune and you're able to, you know, give her everything that she wants, she's still going to dump you because the good guy is still boring. So, I mean, when you really want to talk about who the real loser is, maybe it's time to look in the mirror. Okay, bye.
She doesn't care about her family. Of course she's not going to admit it, but you look at her actions. She was willing to ruin her whole entire family because I can't be myself. You obviously could be yourself because you married this guy. You wouldn't marry a guy who you didn't feel safe with. That's literally just a cope. And she's not a victim, and she's calling people bullies because they're holding her accountable. Trust me. I know I said this again, but she is gonna regret doing that, and she's defending herself so much because she knows she up. That's what women do. When they know that they up, they're gonna defend the out of themselves, and they're gonna villainize their man, because women think that being humble is like bad, or like it's I don't know. If you can admit to your mistakes, you can literally attract the guy that you want. So she's being so defensive because she knows she up, and she doesn't want to admit that. But it's like, this man would be likely to give her another chance if she said, hey, I'm sorry, I let my immaturity blind me. But obviously what she's not going to say to him is the real reason why I took you for granted was because I knew you would always stay. You made me feel comfortable. It's your fault, right? She's not gonna tell him like, oh, you know, I got bored of you. She's not gonna tell him that she got bored of him and she would start drama to have some fun. No woman just leaves just like that. Usually they start drama before they leave. Not to make y'all like afraid or anything, right? Because there are women out there, when they start drama, they're actually trying to work through things. But in this specific scenario, she was holding on to 10 years of built up resentment. That is a lot. I can't imagine what she was going through. And when a man's a catch, you better keep him. That's all I'm gonna say. He can make his mistakes, he can have his flaws, but bottom line is, if he's protecting you, if you feel safe with him, if he's taking care of you, if he's consistent with you, if he's trying for you, if he's showing through his actions, if he's making time for you, you've got to keep him. You've got to move on from things that do not matter. If you feel like, sorry, my tone was a little bad. If you feel like you can't be yourself around him, that is you, not him. That is your own insecurity. That is your own sabotage. But most importantly, that is you not appreciating him for the efforts that he makes.
You know, in watching a lot of these clips, you're listening to these women and you already know that something's off. You already know that something's off. The fact of the matter is, a lot of men out there are waking up. A lot of men, women like to say this, but a lot of men are watching out. A lot of men are not settling, or not allowing, I should say, not allowing a woman to talk crazy to them. They're saying, okay, you guys want a man that's 6 feet, 6 inches, or whatever it is, 6 figures. I want a woman that's peaceful. I want a woman that's not chaotic. I want a woman that knows how to cater to her man. And when men start doing that, it scares women. It throws a lot of these modern women off kilter. Right? It was, oh, well, you know, I can't continue to do the same thing that I was doing. Well, yeah, because if you're demanding better from me and you're challenging me to be better as you see it, then I'm going to challenge you to be better. I'm going to challenge you to put forth some effort like you're asking me to do. That's what a lot of modern women try to do. They try to go out there and let you do all of the work. Let you make all of the improvements, and they get the benefit. Oh, well, I just kissed him here and there, and I gave him a little hug and a pat on the back and said, you could do it. and then went right back to watching my Netflix show without doing anything, without cooking, without cleaning, nothing. They're not doing anything. And a man is like, hey man, I need a little bit more from you. Men are saying as a collective, I need a little bit more from you. And so when a man is not showing up at a dating event, or a man is not hitting you up on the apps and things of that nature, is because men have seen that most modern women are not putting forth any effort to be a good person. They're going to therapy and they're going and getting degrees, which is fantastic. But then they come out acting like dirtbags, acting like losers. And a man is like, man, you didn't really learn anything. Not at all. You still the same person you was when you went in there. And that's exactly how it is.